Hello, my friend Sylvie Moon here. Welcome to my studio. I'm working on a special project this year. Every week, I will be sharing with you a new painted page in this beautiful art journal that I have purchased. It's handmade. It has handmade paper and it has beautiful deckled edges. I'm super excited. This is going to be my grimoire, and I will be sharing a new journal page with you each week as I paint and put my artwork in it and all of the research that I do. So I decided I was going to work on the cover as my first video for the year. So I'm starting with some gesso because I will be doing a lot more painting and drawing mostly in this journal, original art. So I thought, why not start with some really nice gesso? So I went ahead and purchased this gesso earlier this year, and I had the idea that I'd be using it for a project like this at some point. So I'm really excited to get to use it for the first time. It's a beautiful texture. I highly recommend this brand. And the purpose of gesso is to really just create a really nice toothy background that helps brighten up any kind of painting. And then here's the sketch idea. So I just kind of sketched it out in pencil, the general idea of how this is going to be laid out. And this is the wheel of the year. So it has the Sabbats, it has the astrological signs, and they all correspond with the different seasons of the year. And I'm bringing in these circles using different objects from around the house. This is how I make circles, my friends. You can buy templates with different size circles, but that's not necessary. You can just use objects from home. A lot of people say, I can't make a perfect circle. That makes me not a good artist. Well, I'm sorry, but we just kind of cheat. We use rulers and we use things that have the shapes we want and trace them. That's how you make a circle, my friends. There's nothing tricky or fancy about it. I mean, you could use, tools from geometry as well. And you can get more exact with where these circles are placed, but for me, I just sort of eyeballed it, but you could measure it out and get it exact. And now I'm going to go ahead and sketch in this little sun moon drawing. Over time, it's going to change a little bit. You'll see as I add the markers. So I'm using my just good old, I don't even know how to say, Ticonderoga pencils. I just call them my black pencil because it's black and it's a simple number 2 pencil. You can find it pretty much anywhere. I just like that kind of pencil. I use them all the time. And then this is my Posca pen, one of them. I'll be using quite a few of these in different colors. Uni Posca pens I highly recommend them. They're really great. They're beautiful to work with, very easy to use, and they come in many different points. This is a fine tip point. I also use a medium tip point in this video. And just tracing it out, you'll see as I go that I start to cover some of the details a little bit as I go, and then come back later and redraw those details. Right now I'm just painting with a very simple, cheap paintbrush, this lovely black matte paint. This is a chalkboard paint. I love working with chalkboard paints, my friends, because you can use colored pencils on top of them. So in the future, you'll probably see me using more chalkboard paint in my journal this year. And one side of the symbol is going to have a blue sky, nice and bright like the daytime, and the other side's going to be a night sky. And you'll see this whole thing in the center changes quite a bit, especially on the night side, on the moon side. But I'm going ahead with this. Now this is a medium, or not extra fine, but maybe fine tip point Posca pen. Like I said in my previous videos, I will definitely list all the tools that I use, or just give you a general idea of where to find them as well, so that if you like any of these cool tools, you can use them. You can purchase them for yourself. And I'm using just the basic apple barrel acrylic paints and a couple other brands. I'll share the brands with you that I use. I just like using basic acrylic paints for these kinds of projects. If I'm doing like a painting, I'll use maybe a higher quality of acrylic paint. But if I'm just going on to paper, I don't worry so much about it. And I mix these colors to match the Posca pen colors in the center. And I can always, if you have any questions of what colors were used to mix, I can always share that with you as well. I'm just trying to do some really nice clean edges. I kind of had to go over it several times on all those colors to create some really good edges, but I feel like I got that down well. And I did a nice black line on the outside to finish it off. And now I'm going in with my Jelly Roll ink pen here. And this is a fluorescent yellow color. And I'll list this. I love these Jelly Roll. These are the Moonlight series. I have 2 of them that I use in this video. They're just super bright, and they just show up really, really well on paper. And because they're a 1.0 pen, gel pen point, they they go onto the paper very like thick, and I don't have to like fill in any kind of spaces really with it. I mean, you can see how thick and how nice it lays down on the paper. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble giving you some basic terms here. But yeah, I just like the way it lays down on the paint and on paper. So really fun pens to work with. And I kind of come back and do some finer work on this, but I'm just trying to lay everything out first, and then like I said, I'll come back and get the detailed work done. And now I'm coming into the center circle and putting in some fun doodle symbols that I think represent these different Sabbats, these different times of the year, different seasons. And when we celebrate Sabbats, we're really celebrating the change of weather. We're looking at nature, symbols in nature, and just the general symbols of being human overall. So really important to me to focus on that this year, because I feel like it really gives me grounding. It gives me a purpose, and I love having things to celebrate that have to do with nature. Anything that celebrates nature, I'm into it. Just using a nice mixed navy blue for the background here to create a night sky, and then going in with more Posca pen colors to give details for all these little symbols. Now, one trick that I want to share with you is using white paint to help other colors pop. So a lot of these that I'm coloring in white, you won't see the white at the end. I will literally have color over the top. But what it helps is, like, because I'm laying it down on this lavender, a lot of times the colors may not pop. So I'm giving it a white background. It's like a gesso. Just little small spots that I feel like I really want the color to stand out. And you can see here I'm using yellow and green. I'm using those neon gel pens and just kind of having fun filling in. It's just coloring at this point and giving myself a chance to get really creative and add some texture. And then I like to go into some areas, and I don't have to outline everything, but just adding a little bit of outline with the black again to finish off some of these details. I wish I had a even finer point black pen, so I'm definitely going to look in my stash and find one that I might want to work with in the future, because, just developing my style for this notebook. This is generally how I'm going to work. It's going to be a painted piece of art with drawing on top and painting on top, but it's going to be paint, gel pens, paint pens, things like that. And then I decided I wanted to add the planet symbols to the outside here, since we're in space. So I'm adding all the symbols for the different planets and all those planets that correspond with the astrological signs. So I'm really excited. As I'm going through here, I realized I probably should have added a label, but I'm kind of glad I didn't. I'm not sure if I'm going to add a label at the end. You'll see I kind of point to the area where I feel like the label can go. You'll see here in a second as I finish these symbols. So down to the bottom edge or area of this. But I'm just really happy the way it turned out. I feel like it has the colors and the feel that I want throughout the book, and I want to carry this style and this voice throughout the 52 weeks. And it obviously is going to change over time, but I'm excited to share this project with you. Thanks for joining me. I hope you subscribe, share it with a friend. Love you guys. See you soon.